The good news here is that the apartment owner, her niece, her two nephews, and even the driver all survived this almost fatal crash. You can see behind me, we want to show you some of the damage here. The pillar behind me completely wiped out. The fire department and the apartment complex replacing it with some wood here. And on the inside, you can also see the wall completely taken out, the porch door and the window there. You can see the do not enter on the plywood, replacing it there. All of the tenants in these nearby units all had to clear out as this structure is no longer safe for people to remain inside of. Police telling us that this all happened just before midnight last night, so a little bit of a correction there, just before midnight, and they say the suspect was driving a stolen car. And we want to show you what that scene looked like here last night. Let's get to some of that footage right now. You can see dozens of police and fire units nearby on standby. You can also see the SUV lodged directly into the side of that apartment. The owner, Michelle Platt, says that unfortunately her dog did die, but that the wall that fell near the couch in the living room stopped just shy, sparing her nephew, who was sleeping on the couch, by inches. The car missed Platt's bedroom by just a few feet, and she says that they are all lucky to be alive.
The car was like 5 inches from my bedroom. My head shook. It shook the whole entire apartment. My head banged against the headboard. God let me get up and jump out of there to go make sure the rest of my niece and my nephews was okay. Just the thought of it being, 5 inches from where I was, God placed him in a location where we both survived on each side.
The Sarasota Police Department saying that the suspect has been arrested, and as we mentioned earlier, there were no major injuries or fatalities in this crash aside from the owner's dog. We'll have more updates for you coming up later this afternoon, but for now, reporting live in Sarasota, I'm David Suppes, ABC 7, your local station. That's right, Summer. The jury has just come out with a verdict in the case of deciding whether or not Dima Tower is guilty or not guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of fleeing law enforcement. The prosecution led closing arguments today, explaining that they have more than shown the burden of proof that not only did Dima Tower murder Jennifer and Robbie Tower, but that the act was premeditated. The prosecution restating what Dima said himself on the witness stand on Thursday, that he was boiling with rage. He grabbed a second knife when he lost the first one, and that he delivered a monologue to his mother on the couch before, quote, finishing what he had started, end quote. The attorney finishing her arguments by saying that Dima is not excused from these crimes by his unfortunate upbringing.
Hold him accountable for what he did. You may not have sympathy enter into your deliberations. I'm asking you to hold the defendant accountable for what he did. I'm asking you to find him guilty of killing Robbie Tower and Jennifer Tower after premeditation.
The defense addressing the jury, saying this evidence in this case was never in dispute, and as a fact, they were accepting to admit that Dima did commit these crimes. But the defense asking the jury to consider if Dima was capable of premeditation in this case, and stating that when Dima was interviewed by detectives after the murder, that there were misunderstandings when asked if he had prior thoughts about hurting his parents. Ultimately, asking the jury to consider what a person like Dima was capable of given his upbringing and circumstances.
It's important that you take time to deliberate and make a determination as far as what culpability Mr. Tower has. The evidence presented leads to a manslaughter conviction, and we would ask that you come back with that verdict.
And I'm just now being told by producers that that verdict is guilty. Dima Tower is guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder of Robbie and Jennifer Tower. We'll have much more updates on this story later this afternoon. But for now, reporting live in Sarasota County, I'm David Suppes, ABC 7, your local station. Let's go to Summer. Calm waters, big dreams, and an inclusive sailing experience all weekend long for some autistic youth here at the Sarasota Sailing Squadron.
So this is our 4th year coming back, and we have some amazing kids that come out and sail with us, great parents, everyone that comes and participates. We have an awesome host with Sarasota Youth Sailing, so this is one of my favorite places to come every year.
It's the 4th year of the Spectrum Sailing Camp at the Sarasota Sailing Squadron, and for a beautiful weekend on Sarasota Bay, these sailors are thrilled.
We got to sail, I got to drive a couple times, I got to sleep. I love how people treat me like love and kindness.
Sailing is a very unique sport, and there's a lot of things that the kids or even adults can't control, whether that be the wind, the current. There's a lot of unknowns, and so there's a lot of problem solving. And these boats, they're on the boat with other people, so they're kind of working together as a team. There's a lot of teamwork, so they're gaining a lot of life skills that aren't just sailing.
Scott Herman shares the mission of Spectrum Sailing Camps to extend the opportunity of sailing to autistic youth who don't get these opportunities all the time.
So we had 240 kids sail with us this year across the country, from California all the way to Boston. We're across the Midwest, Texas, 3 camps in Florida. All of our programming's been free from day one, so it's really rewarding for me to know that we have an opportunity to come to different locations and give those kids a chance that they otherwise wouldn't have.
Looking good, Nicholas! The sailors and volunteers will have the wind in their sails all weekend long here in Sarasota Bay. Reporting in Sarasota, I'm David Suppes, ABC 7, your local station.